opportunities, an RV park for RVers, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Just waiting for this to come on. There we go. All right. Now we are live on Zoom, and Rafi, yeah, go ahead.
That rainbow just reminded me that rainbows don't exist. They're just reflected light particles. Very much like the stream that we're living in doesn't exist. It looks like it does, but it ain't. And that rainbow just reminded me of it.
Exactly. Exactly. All that is actually light going through water, and refracting into different. They aren't even really colors. We just see them as colors. It's pretty amazing. Pretty crazy. Hi, Mickey. Good to see you, friend. Oh, and by the way, before I know I'm just already on Zoom here and everything, but I am going to have to buy another computer. So I'm grateful for anybody who's going to contribute to that. And some of you already have. Thank you, Mickey, for that, and Dove, and so
I'll,
I, and
I'll
so
put in.
that direction is going to be good, because I'm not going to be able to get the radio up and running on that same computer. I was not anticipating having to get a new computer for the radio, but that's what's going to have to happen, or else we just don't have a radio, and that will not do. That's not
Okay.
in my.
Why don't we talk offline after we're done here?
Okay, very good. All righty. So we are, and there's Karen. Hi, sweetie. Good to see you, my friend. Oh my goodness.
Hi, Lynn. Good morning, everyone.
Just wanted to touch base with folks that joined us with Sebastian last night, and wondered, I mean, obviously I'm enamored, but I'm not sure that is, everybody really gets that. But Sebastian Blacksley, to me, he's just such a saint. He's so adorable. Yeah, Karen, please go ahead.
I didn't see you there, Lynn, but I know you had to be there. You were there, right?
Yeah, I was there. Yeah, I had my camera on and everything.
I don't know why I didn't see you. I was looking for you, but he was amazing. And something that he said that really, really resonated with me was when he said that your humanity is the portal to the resurrection. So, he really meets people exactly where they are, and he really respects the humanity part of being here in this world, even though knowing the truth. Of course, we all know the truth that we aren't these bodies, but loving yourself with unconditional love, no matter where you're at, no matter what you're going through. But, really, I never heard that before. The way he worded it and the way he explained it, I can't, of course, explain it like him, but I just love that your humanity is the portal to the resurrection. So I thought he was wonderful. I loved everything that he shared, and how he answered people was just absolutely beautiful. So I was so happy to be there.
I know, just so respectful, and so, sometimes, I'd be listening to some of these questions people ask, and I'm like, what? He did not, it doesn't matter what you ask him. It doesn't matter what you ask him. He is going to go deep. He's going to respect that, and he's going to see this is the Christ, calling on the Christ. And so, yeah. Okay, so it's not just me. Okay. All right. Yeah.
Yeah. I put up a recording of him. If anyone missed it or wants to hear it again, it's in the chat.
Thank you, Dove. Thank you. I did not record because I can always go to the portal and get the recording.
Right. Yeah.
But this, I appreciate it so much that you recorded that. That's awesome. Because I will download that and play it later. Oh my goodness. All right. So, like I said, I'm not really too sure where we are. If somebody remembers, they can tell me. But I think the Holy Instant and Special Relationships is where I'm going to start us off here today. We may have already read it. We get to read it again. That's it. All right. So, where is my share button? Why do they move things around? Why? Who asks why? Only the ego will ask you why. The Holy Spirit knows it doesn't matter. All right. The Holy Instant and Special Relationships. Who would like to read paragraph 1 and discuss if you can? All right, Karen, please. Thank you.
Well, this is one of my favorite paragraphs, so I'm so happy that I'm reading it. The Holy Instant and Special Relationships. Paragraph 1. The Holy Instant is the Holy Spirit's most useful learning device for teaching you love's meaning. For its purpose is to suspend judgment entirely. Judgment always rests on the past, for past experience is the basis on which you judge. Judgment becomes impossible without the past, for without it, you do not understand anything. You would make no attempt to judge because it will be quite apparent to you that you do not understand what anything means. You are afraid of this because you believe that without the ego, all would be chaos. Yet I assure you that without the ego, all would be love. Wow, that is just everything right there. I mean, just remembering that there's only right now. And when I start to judge, or when I start to even get uncomfortable, or think about how things, wishing things were different, I'm like, I'm worrying about like the future, or I'm not letting go of the past. I'm holding a resentment or something that's not really right now. So it's teaching us the meaning of love. I mean, the course says its goal is not to teach the meaning of love in this world. We can't know what the meaning of love is, but in the holy instant, the closest place we come to love's meaning is in this holy instant, where there is no past or future because there's no judgment. I mean, that's just the best place we could ever be. And I love this, and I love the very last sentence where he assures us that without the ego, all would be love, because that's all there is. So it's just beautiful. I'd love to hear what everyone else has to share.
Thank you so much for that, Karen. And I was just, as you were saying that, I was thinking about what Sebastian was saying last night. And this is about being resurrected. And he read this to us, and this this sentence really is what he was emphasizing. My beloved, go into the world, bringing the resurrection wherever my love sends you. Let yourself be flooded by my light. Immerse yourself in the holiness of your being. Abandon yourself totally in me, who am the source of beautiful love, and you will see great wonders in your life, now and forever. And this is the sentence: make love the only source of your knowledge and action. Make love the only source of your knowledge and action. I bless you in my divine being, Jesus the Christ in you. I just, this is it. This making love, the only reason that I'm here. It's the only thing that I can do, and it's the only thing that I want to do. It's so beautiful. And I'm going to try to make it just a little bit bigger, but um, uh, Jesus says it, you'd be afraid. You're afraid of this happening because you think that the ego, without the ego, everything would be chaos. But as Jesus tells us throughout the course, and what Sebastian is telling us, when you go in and you are just being there as love, you don't have to worry about what to say or what to do. You don't have to worry about how to drive the car. You don't have to worry about where you're going to park. You're going to have to worry about what you're going to eat. Uh, think not of, think of the lilies of the field. They do not toil, nor do they reap. And yet the Father who is in heaven gives them everything that they need. This is exactly what we're talking about. Being without the ego means being in a place where everything I'm doing is love, and everything that is my motivation, my operation, the way I do things, it's all coming from love. And I don't have to worry about anything. I don't have to judge anything. I don't have to look and say, should I do this or that? Is this the right thing or the wrong thing? Should I stop at the red light? All those things, none of those, that all comes from judgment. And you don't need to even have judgment because the Holy Spirit knows that the red light is where you stop. And you don't have to say anything about it or think anything about it. You just let Holy Spirit drive the car, and you will never have to worry about running a red light unless it's okay to do it. And then you'll do it and nothing will happen. But that's not for you to do or say on purpose. It's just because this is what happens. Rafi, please go ahead.
Yeah, it's the reminder that we are infinitely and constantly, lovingly guided every step of the way. We are divinely guided, divinely provided for, divinely protected. That divine love, this infinite universal love, is the substratum of all being. I mean, there isn't anything that isn't. And a lot of times, I know I used to, but I don't anymore, get caught up in the idea that love is a feeling. Love ain't a feeling. Love is infinite being. It is the state of being. And because feelings come and go, love ain't coming from anywhere, going anywhere, because it didn't come from anywhere. It's always been here, and it's exactly what we are. This is perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, Rafi. That's beautiful. Does anybody else have anything they'd like to share about this paragraph? Let me put my participant list.
I just want to say, well said, Rafi.
Absolutely. Thank you. All right. So we all agree, let go of the ego and, let the Holy Spirit be in charge. And I don't have to worry about nothing. It will be like I'm being carried down a path on a summer day, and I will enjoy being carried. Yes, Karen.
Yeah, I love that. And thank you, Rafi. I love what you shared too. And I just want to point out where he emphasizes how judgment always rests on the past. And it really does, because if I can see no past in anything or anyone, I'm free of judgment. There's nothing to judge when I'm not thinking about the past. When I can remember that, the past is over, it can touch me not in every situation, including myself. And, the love that you were talking about, all of you. And I think it's, for me, that's letting go of judgment too, just loving and accepting what is. And because everything is, for me, I notice it's a judgment against myself first. And I noticed yesterday, I took my mom to the doctor, and we're so cute together. I have to say, she's on her walker and I'm walking almost with a cane, but not. I'm just doing the best I can without it right now because my knees are giving me problems. So we're like these two hobbly ladies walking into the doctor's office. And it can be fun to laugh at that, right? But then when we both got weighed and we both got our height, and I haven't had my height taken since my spine surgery last year, and I used to be 5'7". That's like my natural weight as an adult. Then I dropped down to like 5'5", and now I'm 5'3". I was really upset. I noticed I got really upset, and I was just like, WTF, man? Like, what the hell is this shit doing to my body? Like, then I started getting judgmental, then I started getting all these things, and then I said, and then I stopped because I saw what was happening. But that's how quick it can happen, and it's always for me about the body. And then what did I just do? I brought the past into the present. Oh, I used to be 5'7". Oh, I used to be 5'5", you know? So it's like, can I just be happy with what's happening now? And when I can completely just let go of everything I see no past in anything, I can be happy right now. So it was a definite practice yesterday to just stay in the present moment, and recognize that this is what's happening now and I can love now. So I just really need these reminders today. So thanks.
Thank you, Karen. How funny. Yeah, they hided me the other day too when I went to the doctor. And I used to be 5'6" and now I'm 5'4.5". But it's because, the things break down in the spine basically. And God only knows I've bashed my poor little body up so much. Is Uh, I have not been real good with it as far as keeping it out of being injured or broken. So, but yeah, it's this judgment that it comes from the past, and there's three things. There's a couple of ways we can look at it. First, I see only the past. Well, because it's over. It's a dream. It happened long ago. It's all over. Everything I see is the past because it's done. But also in judgment in the world, you know, I think you were saying, when somebody tells me this is a cup, I may go through iterations of, is this a cup? Is this a cup? Is this a cup? They're all looking different, but they all have the same purpose. And so as I recall the purpose of the cup, then I think I know what that cup is for. Now that cup may be to hold my pens, that cup may be to hold my coffee, that cup may be to use to hold water in it to wash my hair if I'm having to wash in the sink or in a basin or something. Cup can mean all kinds of different things to different people. It could be, I mean, there's just so many things, but it's the meanings that I put onto it that is the judgment. So just like we were just reading, and I was talking about the scenario where Judy Scutch, being such a tiny person, couldn't reach the microphone, and so she stacked up course books to stand on to make her tall enough to reach the microphone. And some people said, "Oh, that's a sacrilege," and other people said, "Oh, that's cool." And why? It's the same thing, right? This is the same book. You and I are all reading the same book, right? But what we do with it, whether we tear the pages out of it, or we, throw it in the trash, or we underline every word or highlight every passage and, write notes in the margins, and it doesn't really matter, does it? How often do we go back and read those notes? How often do we go back and look at those highlighted areas? It's the past. I am already done with that. I read that and I had my opinion about it at the time. Now I'm reading it all new and I have a whole new point of view. If I had written notes in the side, then I would go back to that point of view. I wouldn't be able to move forward into a new point of view because I'd be stuck in the past point of view with my notes in the margins. Or if I highlighted an area, and then I looked at that and said, oh, well, this is what's important about this thing. And I leave out a whole section of something that is like phenomenally meaning to me, but I don't get the meaning because what? I highlighted something else. So seeing only the past goes into that as well. And, that it's not the main reason I don't write in books. The main reason I don't write in books is because my mother told me when I was 3 years old, here is a book, do not write in it. And I recognized that that writing in a book was a bad thing. And I have a couple of times written a little something in the margin of a book and felt horrible ever since because I ruined the book by writing in it. But I also noticed when I was a student and going to university and buying textbooks, if I bought used textbooks, they would have highlights and notes. And if you bought the used textbook and you read the highlights and the notes, would that be what the teacher was emphasizing this semester? Would that be the thing that you really needed to learn from that book? Or would there be something entirely different that you didn't get because you were only looking at some other student's highlights? That's another reason I buy new books and not used books because I don't want anybody else's opinion about what's in there. I want to look at it and see, this is new to me, new to me. Anyway, so enough of that ragging on about don't write in your book. But I mean, it just makes me laugh out every time because, I go back and I'm like, man, how could I have missed this? Well, because, that. Anyway, Karen, please go ahead.
That's interesting, Lynn. And I wonder if your mother never said that to you, if you would still feel the same way, you know?
Probably
What do
not.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? That's so interesting. The other thing that just came to me, I forget where he says it, but he says it somewhere, that in this instant, this holy instant, this instant, the body doesn't exist at all. When we are in this moment, in this present moment where there is no past, the body doesn't exist at all. And the Course reminds us that the temptation, the biggest temptation we have is, you know, to persuade the Holy Son of God that he is a body. So I'm noticing more and more that it's always this body that's holding me to the past and holding me to the future. Because if I could drop this body and let this body go, there's nothing to judge. We see the face of Christ in every brother and remember God because we're not the body is the main cause of all judgment. And so I'm really, really noticing that lately, that just this body and it's just a big pain in the ass,
Literally. Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
Oh my God, like let it go, please. So I just wanted to mention that I forget where it says it, but it's really true. The body does not exist at all, and we can be totally in this eternal now. And that
yeah,
temptation is gone. So thanks.
yeah. And Mickey, please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks so much, you guys, for all those things. I had to laugh at what Karen was saying about shrinking. We all do that. It just depends on how much you're shrinking. I used to be 5'4", now I'm 5'2", and it's the past. All our judgments are made based on the past. And Lynn, you talking about writing in a book is hysterical because I was taught the same thing when I was little. I can't remember whether it was my mother or the librarian in my school who I loved telling me you not only don't you write in a book, you don't ever flip the little corner of the page down. You don't ever lay a book down on its face, spread open because you'll crack the spine. I mean, there were rules about books that went on forever. And if you could see my copy of A Course in Miracles, there are just things written, underlined, written over, written on, written next to, different colors for different notes I was taking. It's it's phenomenal how much and I lay it down all the time, spread open, and to the point where I've had to put packing tape all over the front of it so that it holds together because it's just become it's not a book anymore to me. It's this friend. It's a living thing. Um, and I know we're not supposed to make idols out of anything. And I've probably made an idol of it a little bit. but it's something I have a relationship with. And I guess it's a holy relationship. I'm not sure. But it's really funny how our perspectives can change as time goes on. Thanks.
It really is funny, and it's so, yeah, that is so funny about the, what your mother told you or whatever, and now you're just writing in the books all you want. And I'm just kidding. It just cracks me up, how differently we see these things. So yeah. Anyway, I went over to that place that Karen was just talking about, that where Jesus says in the passing of the dream, he kind of implies it in other places. I was just looking, but it says, at no single instant does the body exist at all. It is always remembered or anticipated, but never experienced just now. And actually, this is where I got the idea about pain. At not one single instant does pain actually exist, because at not one single instance does the body actually exist. I can either remember pain or anticipate pain, but in this moment now, it does not exist. And I recognized that was true when I wrecked my car and destroyed my knee, and was went through a lot of, how many surgeries. I had like 3 different surgeries on that knee, trying to repair stuff, and now I'm like Karen, hobbling around like an old lady, but I use a walker, so, or a cane, so I try to do uh try to do that. But at no single instant does the body exist at all. Only its past and future make it seem real. Time controls it entirely, for sin is never wholly in the present. In any single instant, the attraction of guilt would be experienced as pain and nothing else, and would be avoided. It has no attraction now, now. Its whole attraction is imaginary, and therefore must be thought of in the past or in the future. So this is, profound stuff about the body. Um, in the section called I Need Do Nothing in the Passing of the Dream, where he is explaining to us our relationship with this thing we call the body and this thing we think we are. Um, but it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. It never has. It never will. And the paragraph before that is the very famous, there is one thing that you have never done. You have not utterly forgotten the Bible, the body. Why I say Bible? Utterly forgotten the body. It has perhaps faded at times from your sight, but it has not completely disappeared. You are not asked to let this happen for more than an instant, yet it is in this instant that the miracle of atonement happens. Afterwards, you will see the body again, but never quite the same. And every instant that you spend without awareness of it gives you a different view of it when you return. And might I say that sometimes in deep meditation, uh, I do experience that bodiless being. And it does give you a much different state of awareness. So anyway, any thoughts on that? Anybody want to share? Yeah, I'm just going to read this. It is impossible. Oh, Karen, yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, really appreciate you looking for that and finding it. And what I love about this, the gentleness of this course, he's basically saying you're not asked to let this happen for more than an instant. Yet it is in this instant that the miracle of atonement happens. And afterwards, you will see the body again, as you said, but never quite the same. And so it's only for an instant. It's always, that's what we're being taught here. It's only for an instant. And those instants will last longer and longer the more we practice it, and I've noticed that too. It's the more I practice it because, for me, I have to look at what's really bothering me first, and I know Rafi talks about the release, which is very, very helpful, releasing all those thoughts that aren't even true. Um, but looking at them first and letting them go before I can get on to the next instant, you know. And for me, it's been very helpful, and I've been healing because I recognize, well, you know, Karen, you're upset about something that's not even happening now. You're worrying about something that's not even here. So, and so that there's no single instant that the body exists at all, because there's only right now. When you're in this present moment, there's really no thoughts. There is no thoughts. So I love where he's reminding us of this. Now it's just now, and only its past and future make it seem real. So it's this time, this time is the vast illusion. It's just, I love this. I love to be reminded of these things. So I really appreciate you finding that, Lynn. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Karen. And you know, that's something that has you know, that comes to me anytime, especially thinking about the future. I start thinking about the future and thinking about what am I going to do? I need to get a new computer. How am I going to make this work? Blah blah blah, all this stuff. Yeah, I sound like Keith, right? But the reality of it is, the Holy Spirit's telling me, Lynn, don't worry about that. That is not for you to think about. I'm taking care of this business. Jesus told me, don't you trust me? You know, I have to agree. I have to recognize that, you know, I do trust Jesus. So, you know, let it be, let it be. And you know what? Um, even what I'm going to have to do next, how I'm going to solve this problem, I don't have to think about it. I don't have to think about it. Don't get mad at me because I don't fix it right away. Recognize that I'm waiting for the word. I'm waiting for the direction. And the direction that came to me really clearly yesterday is you got to get another computer for the radio because because uh you know, trying to mess with that old computer and get it up and going is it is not a work, and I can't even upgrade the Windows on it. So anyway, Rafi, please go ahead.
Yeah, I too have had experiences, realizations, moments when I've seen the body as just an image and the truth of what we are, what I am radiating through it, through every cell, every molecule, every atom, every subatomic particle, that radiant presence, and just seeing the body. And when it come right down to it, the body is just another mental projection. It's just another pic. I mean, you look around at where you are and just take a look at what's going on. What you're looking at are your thoughts. We just project them and we think they're, you know, oh, it's a room, oh, it's a sky, oh, it's a tree, oh, but they're just projected thoughts. And so is this body. And when somebody said it's the source of all groundless fears, yeah, you think this concept, I think this concept that this body is what I am. And of course, now I got to take care of, I got to do all the crap that comes with it. You know, I don't have to explain it. When it come right down to it, it has nothing to do with the reality of being. It's just another projected thought. And it's useful because A, it doesn't exist, and B, it's serving like everything else is serving. This morning when I woke up, I went through all kinds of body stuff. How come you didn't sleep real well last night? How come you have to do this now? How come the body's demanding this? Are you going to brush your teeth this way? Or are you going to brush your teeth that way? I went on, and I realized that all of this was this mental stuff going on about I don't like it this way, I want it that way. Well, it was all wanting control. So I was just able to get a hold of the wanting control feelings and let them go and let them go and let them go and let them go. So all of that stuff was actually serving me when it looked like it was absolute mental chaos. And but it wasn't. And I got back to the point again where it's just another projected thought image. And it has nothing to do with the reality of being. It isn't real. It isn't me. It isn't true. And it's serving. Thank you.
Thank you, Rafi. Absolutely. I mean, that's it. And you know, we can all get there. We've all been there at some point or the other. Whether you know, we've taken it seriously, consciously, thought it was an anomaly, thought it was, Suddenly I'm enlightened. A lot of times people will have that and think that they've reached something, you know, that something special has happened. But really, it's just a little step into that place where we're all aiming to be. And here we are in the perfect place for achieving this, remembering this. Anybody else have any thoughts on paragraph one? Let's see, we didn't read paragraph two yet. No. Okay. Oh no, we didn't because this is good. Anyway, who would like to read paragraph two?
I'll read it.
Thank you, Rafi.
The past is the ego's chief learning device, for it is in the past that you learn to define your own needs and acquired methods for meeting them on your own terms. And there's the jumble of thoughts that, oh boy. You have said that to limit love to, we have said that to limit love to part of the sonship is to bring guilt into your relationships and thus make them unreal. If you seek to separate out certain aspects of the totality and look to them to meet your imagined needs, you are attempting to use separation to save you. Yeah, good luck. How then could guilt not enter? For separation is the source of guilt, and to appeal to it for salvation is to believe you are alone. And Lester brought up one of the biggest fears we have is this fear of separation. To be alone is to be guilty, for to experience yourself as alone is to deny the oneness of the Father and His Son, and thus to attack reality. Hello, I don't know how you can say it better than that.
Thank you, Rafi. Yeah. So, it is so clear. You're right. There's not much way you could say this better. And so we've talked about this a little bit earlier that when we point out separate or segregate or whatever, uh, it is an attack. It may not seem like an attack, but it is an attack. If I look at you and see your body, and I don't see you, I see the person, the body, the ego, whatever, and I don't see you, the Christ that you are, then who am I talking to? Who am I dealing with? What am I expecting? What am I thinking? I'm seeing you as something that you're not. That is an attack. And if I'm seeing you as something that you're not, and uh, that is an actual attack, then it will bring guilt into my relationship. If I can't accept you wholly, WHOLLY, and I limit the love that I'm able to give and receive from you because I think you're a guy, you don't know anything about my world, blah blah blah. I have all these thoughts and ideas about you. Any of those things is to look at you as being something that's unreal. And when I make you unreal, I'm going to feel guilty about it because I know that that's not the truth. I know that's not what I am. I know that's not what you are. Let's see. So let's see who had their hand up first. I think Mickey had her hand up first, but oh no,
No, Rafi did, unless it's
Rafi.
still up from before.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, in the release technique in the Sedona method, there are 9 basic questions. And question number 5 or 6 is who or what do I want to be separate from now? Well, when you get to that one, that brings up all kinds of stuff. I mean, fears come up like you can't believe. And like the death of a loved one, when my wife left her body last year, when my son passed away, that kind of stuff, that you're separate from all of these other people. So you either got to get something from them or you got to protect yourself from them, or something's wrong and it's got to be fixed. And so, and all of a sudden you're into all of this crazy mind activity. It has nothing to do with the truth of what we are. Absolutely nothing. And it's all based on the false concept I am this body. And there's nothing true about any of that. And when I look at it, and I get to see it, I think, okay, now if I stub my toe, am I going to go nuts about it, or I'm just going to let it pass? And if I just let it pass, then all of a sudden there's no pain. It just vanishes just like that, or anything like that. You bang your finger in the kitchen, or you some. If if you give it no merit because you know you're not the body, the pain goes. There is no pain, and there's further proof. The proof is constant. The body mind is just come and go stuff that isn't real.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, Rafi. That was beautifully spoken. Mickey, please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Rafi. I I actually experienced that once. I stubbed my toe really badly to the point where I thought it was broken. And I just stood there for a minute and went way deep into the reality of who I thought I was and who God thought I was, and said, no, this can't be. And I stood there long enough that it just completely went away. And I really thought I had damaged it badly. So yeah, we don't know what this experience of the body can be, because we never take the time enough to really get out of the experience of it. Anyway, that wasn't why I raised my hand. I raised my hand because I thought there's a ton in this paragraph, and I wanted to go over it a little more slowly, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
So this first sentence, the past is the ego's chief learning device, for it is in the past that you learned to define your own needs and acquired methods for meeting them on your own terms. We do that all the time from when we're little kids. We defined what our parents gave us and what they didn't, and what we thought they should have given us. And we meet every other person based on that. Are you going to fill that need for love that I didn't get from my parents? Are you going to fulfill that need for a partner that I didn't think they gave me? Everyone we meet, we're defining our needs based on what we thought we did or didn't get in the past. And we've said that to limit love to part of the sonship is to bring guilt into your relationships and thus made them unreal. So that love that I think I didn't get, that I think somebody else isn't giving me, or some protection that I think some politician is going to give me from the bad, quote, bad people in the world, we're limiting love to part of the sonship, those who we think can fulfill those needs that we established in that first sentence. We think we can limit our love, and then we're bringing guilt into all of our relationships then, and making all of them unreal, even the ones we think are good, because we're basing them on those things we established in that first sentence. If you seek to separate out certain aspects of the totality and look to them to meet your imagined needs that we established in that first sentence, you are attempting to use separation to save you. It's everything is based on that ego's chief learning device. How then could guilt not enter? For separation is the source of guilt, and to appeal to it for salvation is to believe you are alone. Even those people I think are fulfilling those needs that I established in that first sentence, them, I'm separating them out, and therefore I'm a body, I'm alone. Nothing can, nothing can get beyond those barriers that I established in that first sentence. This is the entire course right here. To be alone is to be guilty because I thought I separated from God. So I'm guilty and I'm alone. For to experience yourself as alone is to deny the oneness of the Father and his Son, and thus to attack reality. Bam. There's the whole course right there in one paragraph. Thanks.
Wow, thank you so much. Bam, right there in one paragraph. Thank you so much. Uh, all right. Karen, please go ahead.
Thanks, Mickey. Yeah, that was a lot of you said a lot of what I wanted to share just to add to that. And thank you, Rafi, for what you shared as well. All of it is so perfect. And it's really the guilt. The guilt is the problem. And, he tells us, it always reminds me of the dreamer of the dream in chapter 27, where he says, of one thing you were sure, this is the ego, of one thing you were sure, of all the many causes you perceived as bringing pain and suffering to you, your guilt was not among them. Because, we never want to look at where we're causing a problem, that we are the cause of the guilt, that what he says, he does not see the part he plays in making it real, making the guilt real, and believing these thoughts. It's this self-hatred that we talk about here, and they're only thoughts that aren't true. So it's bringing the past thoughts. And what Mickey was talking about is that sense of lack. It just reminded me of the lack and thinking that, there's something that I need, that I'm limited here, and I need something that's outside of me to make me happy or to fill me up. And it's just guilt. It's the guilt that is the problem, and that the thoughts that come along with it. And the only way to heal them, it's the guilt is, as Mickey said, the belief that we could be separate from God. And the only way to heal them is to accept the atonement for myself, and to heal the mind through forgiveness, and recognize that nothing really happened, that I am making this whole thing up. And it works every time. And the course is so universal in this. I mean, I know Zoma says a lot that, and I love what she shares about God and everything, and that everything is God and there's nothing that's not of God. But the course clearly says that condemnation is not of God and guilt is not of God. He says it, I think, twice, that condemnation is literally not of God. So this is our own delusional ideas, and they are just not our real thoughts. And I really love this because we're reminded throughout, in the early lessons, throughout the course, when you're not thinking with God, you're just not thinking at all. So I love this because I do notice, when I'm thinking these thoughts, especially when I'm concerning my body, that I know it's not true because it's not real and I made it up. And I can always tell because I've lost my peace. I've allowed it to have an effect on me. And if I allowed anything to destroy my peace, it can't be real, because our true nature is peace and is love, as we're talking about here. So I mean, I think it's all for our learning. This comes up just to be healed, and there's never anything to feel guilty about. It's just there for the healing. Thanks.
Thank you, Karen. That's it. It's just there for the healing. And I am here only to be truly helpful. And I love that. That's all it's here for. That's all we're here for. Nothing else, nothing else. Anybody else have anything that they would like to share about this paragraph? Yeah. So yeah, it's this idea of guilt, don't stop there. Stop and look. Do I experience guilt? And what is where does that guilt come from? He's saying it's because we have, as he says in chapter 5, reacted with a lack of love to one of God's creations, which includes ourselves. We are ourselves lacking in love to ourselves. And so we're going to feel sad and depressed and upset and in fear. But the reality of it is, the only reason that we're feeling that is because of the guilt of separation. So, just as I had told you guys about the dream I had the other day, where I was, uh, for some reason, I was feeling, really lonely, sad, whatever in my dream, wishing, as I always have, that I could just connect with everybody in the world. And, Jesus just told me, well, this is your belief about yourself. You think that you're separate and you think that you can be separated. And therefore, give up that idea. Give up that idea that you're not whole, that the sonship is not whole. And, you will achieve that feeling of oneness. But it's this belief in our separateness that is so insidious. And I keep it going because, I may look on the news and, I'm not in LA or anything, and, I don't have troops in my streets, but I see them on the news and I think, oh my gosh, this is terrible. People are terrible. Bad things are happening, blah, 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 blah. That same stuff. What am I doing? I'm denying the oneness of the Father and his Son. I'm attacking reality, and I am feeling guilty. To be alone is to be guilty. Not to feel guilty. To be alone is to be guilty. Why is that? Because we can't be alone. It's impossible. Anyway, Sharon has her hand up. Go ahead, Sharon.
This isn't about this. It's about I gave everybody, if they want, to look at it's on. He has meditations. It's a program Choose Again put out. So I put my email here, and then this is the password. So Lynn, if you want to look at it and see if it's for you or not.
Where does it go? You got to give me a
It
place
takes
to
you
go.
through all the steps.
Is it on Audible or is it a?
No, it's a program. It was, I
Okay,
had
so you're
gotten
gonna.
extra money, so I bought it.
So Sharon, you didn't send the program. All you sent was your email and a password.
Well, because you have to log in. I mean, if I
So
sent
what are we logging into?
Oh, Choose Again. I'm sorry. No, Choose Again program. It's right here. Choose Again program. So if you look up Choose Again and you get to log in, that's the program.
Okay, so there's no link.
There's no link whatsoever. Now I could make up a link and send it. I can do
Oh,
that.
no, that's okay. I can go look for the Choose Again program.
Well, if you have a problem, call me. I'll be home all day.
Yeah.
I mean, is it necessary? Well, if you want to hear them teaching it, but you were doing just as good as they are, so I don't know. I really don't. Yeah.
I love it.
I can say that it's one of the best programs, especially if you're a course student, because it gets because you have to keep coming back to it's all you.
Yeah.
And by the way, I stayed away from it for a while, and I could certainly see me not benefiting, because it's really what Dietrich has always said. It's what Rafi does every day. He does this because you're always going to have someone that bugs the mind.
That's right.
Until you don't.
That's right. It's going to be there every day until it's not. And that's a fact, Jack.
Now, you know what Rafi put here? It is the truth. Being separate and the fear of death. And here's the thing. I think in this mind, the mind is afraid to leave my kids. And that's a way of me believing that they're real.
Yeah.
So
I know.
That's just me being addicted to what it's saying. So, but the fear of death might go on until it doesn't. That's all.
Yeah, exactly. But all right.
Yeah, I just want to say the fear of death is the same as the fear of loss.
Yes.
Loss
I
or
love that.
lack
Yeah.
or scarcity.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Like, if I'm approaching death and they say, well, you're dying, you're going to die, and my family's around me, I would hope that I could be peaceful, but I don't know. I really don't think I don't know. I just don't know.
Because
That's
you
what I'm going to say. I
can't die.
don't know anything because I don't know how I'm going to be ever.
You can't die.
I know that, but
You
I
want
don't.
you want a proof of that? Let yourself die right now. Give yourself permission to die right now. Go ahead. I'll wait. Just give yourself permission to die.
You know what, Buffy? Would you tell your family that? I wouldn't tell my kids that because they would find that.
But did you die?
No, I can't die.
Okay, so there it is right there.
Right.
You
Yeah,
know,
I have to keep that in my head when I'm dying. I can't
your
die.
kids,
I can't die.
your kids are you. There's no separation between you and your kids.
Right.
There's no separation. We're right back to the fear of separation and the fear of dying. The two
Yeah.
deepest fears.
Those are the two fears.
Neither of them are based in truth. They're based on a false concept that we're this body, and we aren't.
Yeah.
We're never born. You don't exist. You can't die.
Right. I'm nothing.
Lesson 153 says no one dies without their consent.
Yeah, I read that
Yeah.
too. Yeah,
And,
that's
and- and everybody leaves their body exactly when they're supposed to. When
That's
their
right.
when their contribution is finished, they
Right.
go.
It's perfectly choreographed.
Yeah.
It's
My
like
son left when he
like
was
a
supposed to.
it's like a Hollywood movie.
My son left when he was supposed to. He made his contribution. My parents left when they left, but they made their contribution was finished. My wife left when her contribution was up. It was time for her to go. But where'd they go? They just walked out of the dream. That's all, or at least this aspect of the dream.
They stepped outside the body.
Right. They didn't go anywhere. Where are you going to go? You're going to go outside of infinity? I don't think so.
Exactly. So, well, our time is up. I don't see, Rev Wayne had a doctor's appointment today. He wasn't sure he would be here. But I'm going to go ahead and close this out. And because I'm thinking he's not. And Susan, Michelle, and Myrna will not be here today either. So, anybody have anything to say before we say goodbye?
I will not be here tomorrow and Thursday, more than likely. Uh,
Are there
Deb,
sessions on Wednesday?
No, we don't have any sessions on Wednesday.
oh, right, yeah.
I was saying tomorrow's
Amy,
Wednesday. Yeah.
Amy Torres has a session on Wednesday.
Yeah. Her session starts at 12 o'clock.
Yeah, I'm going to go to hers. You know what, Dove? Can you send me? I'll call you if you forget. I want to go to hers.
Okay, I will. Who was it that asked me for it? Oh, it was Brooklyn. Okay, Brooklyn asked for it. I'll send it to you too.
And also Marines, because I'm a member, but I just can't get it on my computer.
Okay.
If you
Okay,
could email me to me as well, Dove.
Very good. I'll send it to Sharon
Okay,
and
what
Ralph.
to do during the week?
Yeah, just get on her mailing list, and she'll send you every week. She'll send you a thing about when and where.
She's just a great person all the way
I
around.
know
I
it.
read her stuff. I love her.
Lynn, let's stop the YouTube